What is going on, Proper Squad? Fatal Crosby here, and Fantasy Flight Games just announced Fallout the board game, and I'm just going to read through the details of it so that you guys can maybe understand it better. If you guys want to read along, link in the description. If not, sit back, relax. This whole video is just me reading, so yeah, enjoy. The Great War of 2077 is long past. There is no place in your memory for its events, but the barren landscape before you has its own story to tell. Immaculate homes which once housed seemingly perfect families and busied Mr. Handys have been transformed into empty shells. Humans wander the wasteland among mutated creatures and rogue robots, in search of little more than survival. You are now among them. Sure, this world might be a mere shadow of its former glory, but plenty of adventure and mystery still awaits the brave traveler, and your adventure has only just begun. Welcome home. Fantasy Flight Games is proud to announce Fallout, a post-nuclear adventure board game based on Bethesda's blockbuster video game series. In Fallout, 1 to 4 players take on a role within an irradiated landscape inspired by those in Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and the downloadable content expansions. With just a few locations pinpointed on their map, the players choose whether to work together or individually to explore these mysterious regions that lay before them. Along the way, each player will face a wealth of choices, deciding whether to pursue experience or caps, collect loot or loyal companions, and progress the main questline or veer off into the vaults. As the players move around the board, building their skills and filling their inventory, the area's wary factions will gain power, forcing the players to pledge loyalty or defy conformity, all in pursuit of gaining the most influence of anyone else in the wasteland. What makes you special? Hello Wanderer, we're glad you decided to join us. You've got a lot to master before you venture out into the treacherous waste. First, let's learn a little bit about you. Would you say you're more of the human type or less so? No shame in that. We understand the last couple centuries have been tough, so we made space for those of the super mutant and ghoul variety. Though don't tell the Brotherhood of Steel we said that. And as you can see, it looks like there is, these are the playing figures. I'm not sure if that's all of them or that's just some of them. But we got a Feral Ghoul, looks like a Wastelander, Super Mutant, another Wastelander of the male, and then Brotherhood of Steel figure. We know everyone out here has a little something special to bring to the table. Just ask our pal, the Brotherhood of Outcast. That military-grade power armor of his is nothing to shake a stick at. But seriously, you won't make a dent. And that Wastelander over there? No, she's not a mechanic, just well armed. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though. You'll have plenty of time to learn about the rest, and there's far more to a person than their limited pre-game backstory. So right here looks like this is the game card. This is what you'll be given this is what each player will be given, and then these are the cards you can collect, and right here is going to explain a little bit more of this. This player, our ghoul friend, has advanced quite a ways through the game. But don't worry, with time, you too can have a well-worn collection of wasteland goodies. The first card on the very left is his character card. That's how we know he's a ghoul, and a very ghouly one at that. He's not the most solid guy you can be. You'll see that his HP is limited to 12, but his familiarity with radiation sure does help. See, at the bottom of his survivor board is a track, with rads to the left and HP to the right. When traveling the wasteland, a survivor may gain rads or lose HP. Tracking them with the pegs on his board, should the pegs ever occupy the same space or pass one another, the survivor will die and begin again at the starting space, maintaining their equipped possessions and XP. So while the ghoul is limited in health, taking radiation actually heals him. The next few cards below the ghoul's board are his equipped items, with combat armor, an alien blaster, and dog meat on his side. I'd say things are looking up, and the fun doesn't stop there because Ghoulie has a couple cards in his inventory and a few caps to spare too. Continue around the board and you have influence cards. We'll talk about those later. Perk cards and Ghoulie's special tokens. As you can see, he is a strong, perceptive, intelligent, and lucky ghoul. I guess endurance, charisma, and agility just weren't in the cards. However, it looks like Ghoulie has passed on collecting special tokens once or twice in favor of the very powerful one-time use perks, Gun Nut and Fortune Finder. War never changes. Shaping the narrative of your character is but one piece of this wasteland wandering you've set out for. After all, what is a person without their military experiences? Well, you'll experience a darn lot. Let me tell you. Between questing, killing, drifting, and chilling, you've got a busy schedule to attend to. When you set out to explore the world before you, you'll have a few landmarks to guide your quest. These landmarks and the map surrounding them will depend on the scenario you and your fellow survivors choose to play. The 4 scenarios included in Fallout will be familiar to seasoned fans of the franchise, featuring the Capital Wasteland, the Pit, the Commonwealth, and Far Harbor. Though the distinctive locations in each scenario are predetermined, the rest of the map will vary with each setup, allowing each survivor to suffer as many unique deaths as they please, game after game after game. So it looks like these are the locations that make up the board, and this one here is Diamond City, and this one here looks like it shows the railroad as one of the factions they were talking about. Beyond the map itself, the scenario will also determine which 2 unique factions you'll have the opportunity to behead or befriend, your choice. In the Commonwealth, for example, the railroad and the synths go head to head, assuming you haven't already done the beheading. On the back of the scenario card, you can mark the progress of these 2 factions, giving each side more power. Should one of the factions progress to the very end of the power track, the game will end, whether there is a winner or not, so don't go ahead of yourself. Allies are only allies as long as you're worth something to them. Finally, the scenario also sets up and drives the main quest you can follow in the game. Welcome to the Commonwealth is the first card in the scenario depicted here, kicking off the main quest. Collecting one of the actions on this card will cause the noted effects, move the story forward, and reveal even more quests. While the main quest cards will more often than not impact the factions, side quests will allow you and other survivors to explore other stories within the game without pushing that primary narrative too far ahead. Now that we've sufficiently discouraged the senseless chaos, we know you'll all try at least once. Let's talk about how you can actually win the game. The Fallout franchise has long illustrated the idea that it's not about the destination, but the journey, and winning the game is sure to take you on a wild adventure in kind. Remember that card turned face down next to Ghouli's board? The influence card? That's how you win. Influence cards can be collected as you wander the wasteland, earning you recognition for your unique contributions to the greater story. There are two primary types of influence cards, faction-based and otherwise. Many of the influence cards will give you points based on the progress one of your factions have made. By revealing a security or freedom card, you will be able to align yourself with the associated faction, allowing you to move freely among members of that faction. Just think, you can make friends with the Brotherhood of Steel or the Institute or even a slaver. There are more influence cards you can collect as well, which are not tied to the scenario's faction, but instead to your own character's inventory and acquired abilities. Whether the card offers influence or caps, collected items, reputation, or something else, these cards will provide each player with unique objectives affecting how they make choices in the game. That said, while you can develop teams through faction alignment, when you get down to it, everybody's just looking out for themselves. Trust, sure, but a wise adventurer knows to be prepared to betray that trust at the draw of a card. There you have it, the delights of the wasteland are yours to enjoy. Whether you're more of a lone wanderer or a local leader, Fallout will allow you to take on the rundown remains of the world in your own way, making choices, acquiring loot, battling bad guys, and leveling up the survivor. The Wasteland experience of Fallout comes to your tabletop in Q4 2017. So, sometime in 2017, probably at the end of the year, this will be coming out. By the sounds of it, of what I just read, it looks like it's an easy game to get used to. It looks like it's not hard to learn, really quick to set up. You just gotta put all these locations together and have your player card. So it seems like it's not a hard game to learn. You're not gonna be spending half an hour to an hour learning the game. It almost feels like it's gonna be like a 10-minute learning process. So that's really cool. I understand the game itself just by reading this. But that being said, I think it's also easier for me to understand because I know the Fallout universe and I know what they're talking about when I'm reading it. But to someone who has no clue what Fallout is, yeah, I can see it, having a longer learning curve to it because they're probably like, what the hell is a ghoul? What is that? What's a shipmune? You know what I mean? So they'll be asking a lot of what questions. But other than that, guys, I'm glad Fallout is still having some love. I love how it's called Fallout, but it has the background image of Fallout 4, even though it takes stuff from Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 and DLC. Well, that being said, guys, let me know if you guys plan on getting Fallout the board game. I probably won't be getting it just because I'm not a big board game player. I'm just glad Fallout is getting some. I'm just glad Fallout is still alive and well and getting love. And you know what? The more merchandise Bethesda releases on Fallout just means that they're always going to want to keep the franchise alive. And hopefully we get a new Fallout announcement next year. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening to me read this whole thing to you. Peter Crowser out. Peace. I'm going up, 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 up.